In March 1918, the depths of the Atlantic claimed 306 lives and a massive ship. Not a single piece of wreckage, not a life jacket, not even a whisper. The USS Cyclops vanished into thin air at the heart of the Bermuda Triangle, becoming one of history's greatest maritime mysteries. Was it an accident, an enemy attack, or the gateway to another dimension beyond human comprehension? Are you ready to uncover the mystery hidden beneath the waves? The content in this video is suitable for viewers aged 18 and older. March 4th, 1918, 7:30 a.m., Barbados Port, Carlisle Bay. The sun was rising, but this morning was different from the others. The USS Cyclops was anchored in Carlisle Bay for the last time. This 542-foot-long cargo ship, with its massive cranes in the midsection, was a true metal giant. Its deck was loaded with 11,000 tons of manganese ore, a critical raw material for the war industry. Workers at the port were casting their final glances at the ship, but none of them knew that those would be their last glances. Captain George W. Worley stood on the bridge, gazing out at the open sea. He was commanding the largest ship of his 40-year maritime career, yet there was an uneasy feeling within him. The weather conditions did not match the meteorological reports. The Barbados Meteorological Station had predicted light winds and clear skies, but the water around the Cyclops was restless, as if a storm were approaching. Second Officer Robert Thompson noticed it as he walked the deck. "Captain, the wind is changing direction. The compass is acting strangely." Worley looked at the compass cabinet. The needle was trembling constantly. Instead of pointing north, it was making circular movements. "It could be a magnetic issue, Thompson. Manganese ore can affect compasses." But Thompson didn't believe this explanation. He had been working on ships for 20 years. Such a thing had never been seen before. There was an uneasy tension among the 306-member crew. Ship engineer Charles Martinez was conducting final checks in the engine room. The engines sounded normal, but something felt off. The vibrations coming from beneath the ship were unlike anything he had ever felt before. "This load is too heavy," he muttered to the engineer Jackson standing next to him. "The ship is sitting much deeper than normal." Jackson shook his head. 11,000 tons of manganese. That's the maximum weight this ship can carry. If there's a single problem, we'll sink. Martinez finished the sentence. On deck, similar conversations were taking place among the sailors. Sailor Peterson whispered to his friend Williams, "There's a bad feeling about this voyage, like something's going to go wrong." "Why do you think so?" "I don't know, but the sea feels different today." "Do you think these concerns are unfounded, or can the crew really sense the danger?" Shortly before departure, the USS Cyclops sent its final radio message. Radio operator Harold Stevens was preparing the routine position report, but the radio signal sounded strange. There was excessive static, and the sound quality was poor. "We're heading from Barbados to Baltimore. Weather is good, no issues. Estimated arrival in approximately 10 days. This message was the last official communication received from the ship. As Stevens shut off the radio, he heard an odd sound in his headphones. It sounded like a whisper from far away. but in a language he couldn't understand. "Strange," he muttered. "Must be atmospheric electricity." The USS Cyclops left Barbados behind for the last time. Fishermen in the harbor watched as the massive cargo ship slowly disappeared into the horizon. Despite the sun being high in the sky, it seemed as though shadows were dancing around the ship. Captain Worley looked back at the Barbados coast one last time. He felt an odd sensation, as though he would never see the island again. "Full speed ahead, Thompson," he ordered. "Full speed ahead, sir." The Cyclops set course for the blue waters. The 11,000 tons of cargo on deck strained the ship's balance with every wave. 2 hours later, the first strange incident occurred. Engineer Martinez, conducting routine checks in the engine room, noticed a change in the engine sounds. The engines were emitting a deeper, heavier noise. "Jackson, listen to that. The engine RPM is normal, but the sound is different." Jackson strained his ears. "You're right. It sounds like the engines are fighting harder. But the water resistance is normal. The speed is steady." Neither of them knew that the USS Cyclops was feeling the resistance of something else besides the seawater. In the afternoon, navigation problems began. Second Officer Thompson noticed that the compass had gone completely haywire. The needle was constantly moving instead of staying still. "Captain, the compass isn't working. We can't find north." Worley looked at his own compass. He was experiencing the same problem. "Try the backup compass." Thompson brought the backup compass. It was also moving erratically. "This isn't possible. All 3 compasses are experiencing the same problem." "Manganese ore," said Worley. "Such a heavy magnetic load could be affecting the compasses." But both knew that explanation wasn't sufficient. Manganese ore had been transported before, but never with such a problem. Was it really the manganese ore? Or was some other force affecting the ship's navigation? As evening fell, unease grew among the crew. The sailors gathered on deck, whispering. Even the most experienced sailors had never encountered such a situation. "The sea is different," said Peterson. "The color, the smell, the sound. Everything is different." Williams looked around. "You're right. It's like we're sailing in a different sea." Cook Rodriguez had come out of the galley and joined them. "Did you notice? The salt tastes different. The seawater, it's as if it came from somewhere else." These words affected the other sailors as well. Everyone had witnessed similar changes in their own observations. Night watchman Williams was walking alone on the deck. The moon was 1/3 full, but the sea seemed brighter than normal. It was as if the water itself was emitting light. When Williams looked out at the sea from the side of the ship, he saw moving shadows beneath the water, large, unidentifiable shapes. "It could be a whale," he muttered. But the whales didn't move like that. The shadows were swimming as if they were following the ship. Sometimes they would overtake the ship and swim in front of it. Williams rubbed his eyes. "It's just fatigue," he told himself. "Just fatigue." But the shadows were still there. At 4 o'clock on the second day, the strangest event occurred. During the night watch change, radio operator Stevens heard strange sounds. The radio was off, but sounds were coming from the headphones. First static, then music-like sounds, but not the kind of music coming from any radio station. It sounded like it was coming from far away, from another time. Stevens ran to wake the captain. "Captain, something strange is happening on the radio." Worley followed Stevens with sleepy eyes. When they entered the radio room, the sound had stopped. Where are those sounds coming from? They were just here. Very strange music, like... He couldn't finish his sentence, because the sound returned. This time clearer, closer. And both of them realized this music was not something any human could produce. Where were these sounds coming from? Was the USS Cyclops really just sailing on the open sea? March 5th, 1918, 8:00 a.m. On the second morning, the USS Cyclops had completely lost its bearings. Captain Worley stood helplessly in the chart room. None of the compasses were working. He tried to determine their direction by looking at the sun, but even the sun looked strange. It seemed paler and farther away than usual. "Thompson, take a sextant reading." Second Officer Thompson tried to take a reading with the sextant, but the result was impossible. According to the device, the ship's position was not in the Atlantic Ocean. It was nowhere. "Captain, these numbers must be wrong. The sextant is showing us as being nowhere." "What do you mean, nowhere?" The coordinates don't exist on any map." Worley's blood ran cold. In his 40 years at sea, he had never experienced anything like this. How could a ship be nowhere? Where was the USS Cyclops sailing? As navigation problems spread among the crew, panic began. Sailors gathered on the deck, waiting for the captain to explain. But Worley didn't know what to say. "Sailors," he called over the megaphone, "we're experiencing a minor navigation issue. It will be resolved shortly." But the crew wasn't fooled. Experienced sailors understood the gravity of the situation. Sailor Peterson whispered to his friends, "This isn't just a navigation problem. The sea itself has changed." "What do you mean?" "Look at the color of the water. It hasn't been blue since last night. It's taken on a greenish hue. Indeed, the seawater had taken on an unusual greenish tint instead of its usual blue. And within the water, there were constantly moving shadows. At noon, strange changes were noticed in the manganese ore cargo on the deck. Cargo supervisor Martinez was shocked when he conducted his routine inspection. The 11,000 tons of manganese ore looked different from usual. The color of the metals had changed. The brown-black manganese had now gained a metallic blue-green sheen. "This isn't normal," he muttered. When he touched the ore, a strange vibration passed through his hand. He called out to the nearby worker, Rodriguez. "Look at this. The manganese ore has changed color." Rodriguez approached, and his eyes widened. How is this possible? Metal can't change color on its own. And it's hot. I can feel the heat when I touch it. Neither of them knew that the manganese ore wasn't just changing color. It was transforming into something else. Could the manganese ore be playing a role in the disappearance of the USS Cyclops? What did this metallic transformation signify? By afternoon, the radio had fallen completely silent. Operator Stevens checked the radio device dozens of times. The electronic systems were functioning, but no signals were being received or transmitted. Captain, the radio systems are completely non-functional. Nothing coming in, nothing going out. There might be an issue with the antenna. I checked the antenna. No physical damage. But it's like the wavelengths have changed. Worley didn't understand the explanation. What do you mean? I don't know, but it's like we're on a different frequency. Normal radio waves aren't reaching us. What Stevens was describing defied known laws of physics, but what they were experiencing didn't match anything known either. As evening began to fall, strange sounds started coming from beneath the ship. The first to hear them was Martinez, the chief engineer. Among the engine noises, other sounds were mingling. It was as if a giant creature were speaking beneath the ship. Jackson, do you hear those sounds? Jackson strained his ears. Yes, it's not the engine. It's like voices. But there can't be anyone at this depth. We're 3,000 feet below the surface. The sounds were becoming clearer. Unintelligible words, strange melodies. But it wasn't any known language. The sailors on deck were also hearing the same sounds. Mysterious sounds rose from beneath the water, coming from all around the ship. During the evening watch, Sailor Williams had the most terrifying experience of his life. Walking alone on the deck, he looked out over the sea from the side of the ship. Underwater, huge shadows were moving. But this time, they were much clearer. They weren't whales. They weren't sharks either. They didn't resemble any sea creature. Long, cylindrical shapes, like giant snakes, but their size was terrifying. They appeared to be at least 200 feet long. And the most terrifying part, these creatures seemed to be surrounding the ship. Williams called for the other watchman. Peterson, come here! You have to see this! Peterson ran over. When he saw the creatures underwater, he froze. What's happening, Williams? What are those? I don't know, but they're following us for hours. Who are these creatures? Why did the USS Cyclops attract their attention? On the third night, the disaster began. Radio operator Stevens was frantically trying to turn on the radio. For a few seconds, he managed to pick up a signal and was trying his last desperate attempt. Mayday, Mayday, USS Cyclops emergency. Our position is unknown. The ship. He couldn't finish his sentence. The radio cut out again, but this message was not received by any coastal station. It was as if the voices were fading into the void. In the middle of the night, the manganese ore on the deck exploded. Martinez, who was in the engine room, heard a terrible noise. When he went up to the deck, he saw the manganese ore glowing with a metallic blue light. "This is impossible," he shouted. "Metal can't emit light." But the 11,000 tons of manganese ore had now become a powerful light source. A blue-green aura enveloped the ship. And at that moment, the fate of the USS Cyclops changed. As the light from the manganese ore reached its peak, reality shattered. The USS Cyclops was no longer in normal waters. There was water around them, but it was different. Darker, heavier, more mysterious. Captain Worley stood on the bridge, looking around helplessly. "Where are we? Where is this?" There was no sky. Above them, an endless darkness stretched out. There were no stars, only emptiness. The crew was in a panic. Sailors ran across the deck, trying to react to the situation they couldn't comprehend. And then, the creatures beneath the water surfaced. Williams, looking out the side of the ship, saw massive tentacles rising from the water. Each tentacle was as long as the ship itself. "Creatures!" he screamed. "The creatures are attacking!" The crew watched in horror as the creatures approached. They did not resemble any known sea creatures. They were creatures from another world, another dimension. The tentacles began to wrap around the ship. They were crushing the steel hull, cracking the ship's structure. How could the USS Cyclops resist these creatures? Was resistance even possible? Captain Worley gave his final order. "All sailors to battle stations. Prepare your weapons." But the USS Cyclops was not a warship. It was a cargo ship and was not prepared for battle. The sailors tried to repel the creatures with whatever they had, but the tentacles were as hard as steel. Nothing could stop them. Martinez tried his last resort in the engine room. "Full speed ahead. Maybe we can escape." The engines roared at full power, but escaping the creature's grasp was impossible. As the USS Cyclops' final moments approached, something strange happened. The ship didn't sink. It simply disappeared. The creatures didn't drag the ship underwater. They transported it to another dimension. The USS Cyclops slowly became transparent, drifting away from reality. The crew experienced this process consciously. They felt that they and their ship were being transported to another place. The last thing seen was Captain Worley standing on the bridge, gazing into an unknown future. When the USS Cyclops failed to arrive in Baltimore, the U.S. Navy launched a comprehensive search operation. 10 days had passed. The ship had not docked at any port, had not sent any distress signals, and had left no trace. Search vessels combed the entire route between Barbados and Baltimore. Result: nothing. The USS Cyclops, with its crew of 306 and 11,000 tons of cargo, seemed to have vanished from the face of the earth. The U.S. Navy issued an official statement. The USS Cyclops must have sunk as a result of an enemy attack. The crew performed their duties heroically. However, this statement did not reflect the truth. No enemy submarines were in the area. There were no signs of battle. The USS Cyclops had vanished from the face of the earth. A classified report stored in naval archives contained shocking details. The final radio message from the USS Cyclops contained unidentified sounds. These sounds did not originate from any known source. During the search operations, abnormal magnetic readings were detected in the area. According to witness statements, mysterious lights were seen in the area on the night of the disappearance. Who were these witnesses? What did they see? Why is the Navy hiding the truth? The disappearance of the USS Cyclops laid the foundation for the Bermuda Triangle legend. The ship vanished while en route from Barbados to Baltimore, right in the area known as the Bermuda Triangle. Years later, dozens more ships and planes disappeared in the same region. Their common thread: they vanished without a trace. 1963. 45 years later, in 1963, Thomas Rodriguez, a former port worker living in Barbados, made a shocking statement. On the night the USS Cyclops set sail, I saw strange things in the harbor. There were lights around the ship and underwater. There were huge shadows moving beneath the water. Rodriguez's statement sparked significant media interest. However, a few days later, Rodriguez also disappeared. In 1985, oceanographers discovered abnormal findings in the Bermuda Triangle. On the ocean floor, at a depth of 3,000 feet, strange metal fragments were found. The analysis results were shocking. These metals resembled the steel alloy used in 1918. But their structure was different. It seemed as though they had been influenced by a different dimension. Were these pieces from the USS Cyclops, or from another ship? In the 1990s, quantum physicists developed new theories about the USS Cyclops incident. Manganese ore can create a quantum field effect under certain conditions. This effect could enable interdimensional travel. The magnetic anomalies in the Bermuda Triangle could be creating time-space distortions. The USS Cyclops may have experienced a dimensional jump due to its cargo. In recent years, similar incidents have continued to occur in the Bermuda Triangle. In 2019, merchant ship captains reported seeing a ghost ship in the area. This ship resembled the USS Cyclops. In 2023, satellite images detected abnormal heat signatures in the ocean. These signatures pointed to a large metallic object. Is the USS Cyclops still in the depths of the ocean? Or does it exist in another dimension? William Patterson, an 88-year-old retired sailor, made a shocking confession before his death. In 1978, while fishing in the Bermuda Triangle, I saw a massive ship underwater. It resembled the USS Cyclops, but strange lights were emanating from the ship. When I tried to get a clearer view of the ship, it disappeared, as if it had never been there at all. Patterson's final words were even more unsettling. The USS Cyclops didn't disappear, it just moved to another place, and from there, it's watching our world. The story of the USS Cyclops remains unsolved to this day. 106 years have passed, yet no trace has been found. 306 people and 11,000 tons of cargo, as if they had never existed. Modern technology, sonar systems, satellite imaging, none of them could find the USS Cyclops. Could the ship really be in another dimension? Or is it waiting to be discovered in the depths of the oceans? The story of the USS Cyclops doesn't end here. Every day, similar mysterious events occur in the world's oceans. Ships, planes, people, they disappear without a trace. The magnetic anomalies in the Bermuda Triangle are still ongoing. Quantum physicists continue to develop theories about interdimensional travel. And most importantly, when you look at the oceans, have you ever wondered, what dimension are the 306 people on the USS Cyclops living in right now? Can they see our world? What did this story teach you? What could be hidden in the depths of the oceans? And what would you do if you were faced with such a mystery? This story is based on the real disappearance of the USS Cyclops. This ship, which truly vanished in 1918, is one of the greatest maritime mysteries in history. 306 people and 11,000 tons of manganese ore vanished without a trace. Is it real or fiction? The answer may lie in the depths of the oceans. If you ever travel through the Bermuda Triangle, be careful, because some journeys never end. Oceans are not just water. They are places where time and space bend, reality is questioned, and losses are never found. The USS Cyclops is the most terrifying example of this truth. Don't forget to click the subscribe button for more stories. Whatever you do, may God be with you.